Hey guys, welcome back to Spoilers and Breakdowns. Today we're going over Titans Episode 3, Red Hood, where I'll break down the whole episode and include any Easter eggs, tell you what those mean, and everything else about Titans Season 3. So be sure to subscribe, like, and comment the video. Let me know what you guys think, and stay posted for Episode 3, which is going to be coming out very, very shortly. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, we open up this episode on a rainy night in Gotham City at an abandoned Hobbs Powder Company building, and it's actually revealed that Batman and Robin took down this company together when they were illegally making gunpowder, and it's Dick Grayson and Robin at that point in time. At this abandoned building, there's a meeting taking place of all the heads of different crime families in Gotham City. And the first Easter egg I found was very early. One of the ladies there, her last name is Valeska, and that is the same last name as Jerome and Jeremiah Valeska from the show Gotham. And he was played by Cameron Monaghan of Shameless fame, which is another awesome show. At this meeting, they're all debating back and forth whether it was really Batman that killed the Joker, and one man even says he heard the Joker's head cracked in two, and another man saying that the Batman doesn't kill, that it wasn't him. And they conclude the meeting basically saying, we'll meet again when another one of you dies, when all of a sudden, as the guy's walking away, a bag drops out of nowhere. After it drops, they're told repeatedly to open it by someone overhead, and they don't know where the voice is coming from, but they refuse to open it, and one of the men even shoot out randomly. And after he does, they're again told to open it. But after he doesn't, he's shot in the head, and another man is shot as Red Hood drops down from above. Once dropped below, he orders the men to open the bag, and once they do, they see that it's all the heads of their number twos. And Red Hood says that they're all dead, he killed them, and now in order for them to be protected, he's telling them that he wants 40% of their total income, because as he claims, he retired Batman and that the nightmare is over and he'll protect them. One of the men there disagrees and tells them no to get lost and tries to shoot Red Hood, but before he can even get his hand on his gun, Red Hood shoots him dead. And everyone else, noticing that he's not messing around, throws their guns on the table, basically saying they agree. And that's when we get our opening credits. After the opening credits, we open back up in Washington, D.C., where it's shown that Hank is actually a cop now, and he's partnered with a guy named Todd, and they're both on bike patrol, basically, and Todd's just asking him questions. He's kind of a nerdy guy. He's asking him, like, where he came from, what his experience in the force is, where he worked, where he transferred from, because no one else knows. And he says that he's just interested because he's never heard of him before, and he just popped up out of nowhere. And Hank, tired of the questions, literally just tells him that he was a big bird in a suit. And Todd doesn't believe him, just laughs it off and tells him that he's a funny guy. While on patrol, they get a call about a burglary, and Hank says he's on his way on his bike. And once he finally catches up to the suspect, Dove drops from above on him and is able to beat Hank to it. And it's revealed that she's actually dating someone else, that they've been in DC for a while now, a few months, but they're not together, and they haven't really been keeping in communication since their breakup. In the next scene, we switch over to the Gotham Police Department building, where Dick is on his way to talk to Barbara about Bruce and the night before what happened, telling her what Bruce told him, and she reveals that Bruce's jet took off at 11:20 p.m., but they have no idea where he landed. So, with everything going on, Dick informs Barbara that he's calling in the rest of the Titans. Once they're all at Wayne Manor, the press is going crazy seeing all the heroes in Gotham City. Dick gives them all a prep talk once gathered and explains that Gotham is an extremely dangerous city and that it breeds a special class of criminals. And when he said that, it's just funny because it made me think of all the classic villains, you know, like Penguin, the Riddler, Hush, Bane, the Joker, obviously, Scarecrow, which we've already seen in the show. And I hope that they introduce more of these villains, obviously way down the line, if the show does get picked up for a fourth season, which I really hope it does. And obviously, we hope that they don't overdo it like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, which was just overloaded with villains that they can take their time and introduce them, which could potentially take this show, to like 10 whole new levels. In the next scene, we have Commissioner Gordon informing Dick that they have a lady who was forced to drop a bomb in a building and kill a bunch of people, and she won't say why, who she is. They figure that out because of ID, but she won't say a word until she speaks to Nightwing only. So that's why she calls Dick. Once he's in there, she shows him her arm, and what's there is a carved phone number, and so they call the number, and when they do, it triggers the release of a poison that literally forces her to snap her own neck. And doing some investigation back in the Batcave, later on, it's revealed that it was a subdermal delivered system that they used in the woman, and they juiced her with some type of chemical strength, which explains why she was capable of just snapping her own neck, killing herself, because I don't think the average human being would be really capable of that strength or that, just process. It'd be really, really hard, and she did it just quickly in an instant. After witnessing that traumatic death, Barbara reveals to Dick that Scarecrow has been working with the police department as a consultant, and he basically gives them profiles as to who to look for when crimes occur. This really angers Dick, and Barbara tries to tell him it's okay because it was Batman's idea, and he's shocked by that. This kind of mellows him out, but he does ultimately let Barbara set up a meeting for the both of them. As the scene with Barbara and Dick comes to a close, we switch over to Starfire, who is at Wayne Manor, and she's just looking around the house, and she stumbles into Dick's room, and she sees a contract that was signed by Dick when he was a little kid, and it's basically saying that he agrees that he won't give in to fear. And after seeing this, that leads into a vision for Starfire. And in this vision, she becomes hypnotized and begins to walk out of the house, and she's yelling in her language, Tamaranian. I hope I said that right. And Connor and Gar, who are also at Wayne Manor, see and follow her into the kitchen, and they start trying to get her attention. But when they do, she shoots a fireball at them, and Connor, being Superboy, uses his super breath and puts the fire out, leaving them out of harm's way. After that, she is able to snap back out of it and regain her consciousness. Following this scene, we switch over back to Dick, who now arrives at Arkham Asylum. He's there to finally meet one-on-one with Jonathan Crane, aka the Scarecrow. And once he arrives there, he finds out that he's actually being held on his own floor by himself. Scarecrow greets Dick by telling him before they speak that he wants weed in order to get him to work with them, and he claims that it helps slow his brain down. And I think it's kind of funny and weird that they make this version of Scarecrow kind of like a stoner, because that's definitely not what's portrayed in the shows, but hey, everything's different. Anyway, back to the show. At this meeting, Dick is trying to figure out if Scarecrow can help him see who this possible criminal is and why they could be doing this. And while they're discussing this, Scarecrow refers to Dick as the kid that Bruce took in for PR and says how he's the prodigal son who's now returned to Gotham. And when he tries to help him, he tells Dick that this person has a personality complex with Nightwing and calls this their bird's opening, which is a chess move that was first created in 1855. While investigating possible motives and who could possibly be next in this attack by Red Hood, Dick comes across different street names. And I am going to be putting up all the street names on the screen now. And all of them, or actually all of except for one, do have some type of Easter egg or some type of relevance to the comics in some way. The first one is Bluebird Way, and Bluebird is an ally of Batman in the comics. Their real name is Harper Row, who is an electrical engineer and is also trained in kickboxing and hand-to-hand combat. The next street we have is Condor Court, and Condor is an enemy of Hawk and Dove in the comics, and he's a 200-year-old Avatar of War cannibal. And his first appearance was in Hawk and Dove Volume 5, issue number 1. The second street is Finch Street, and I think that's a nod to David Finch, the legendary writer responsible for works like Batman the Dark Knight, Cyberforce, and Moon Knight. The the fourth street is Falcon Way, and Falcon was a villain who only appeared in Hawkman issue number 22 in November 1967. The final street that they had up on for the episode was Eagle Crest, and it may be a stretch, but I did find that there is someone called Golden Eagle or Charlie Parker, and he's a member of Titan West. During this investigation, Hank actually shows up to Titan Tower. He leaves DC and goes to Gotham, and this actually angers Dove because they had a nasty breakup the last season, and Dove previously tried to throw away his things, but she couldn't do it because she clearly still has feelings for him, and vice versa. They just aren't trying to make it work anymore, and they're both kind of just hard-headed and have decided, well, I'm not making it work and they're not making it work, so it's just done. But they clearly still have feelings for each other. Before we get into the next scene, I also wanted to mention that there's still no sign or mention of Rose whatsoever, which I think is kind of weird. I really love this show, but that is strange to me. They haven't mentioned anything of her, and we haven't seen her since the first episode, really. And I wonder if they're just going to do a single episode dedicated to her, to just catch us up on where she's been during this whole time. But I just wanted to bring that up. Anyway, so back to the next scene. So Dick gets a call from Barbara basically telling him that they're too late, that the victims that they were kind of trying to track down and protect, they've already been kidnapped. And she informs them that there's a hostage situation at a bank, and all the people there are wearing red hoods. Once the Titans arrive, Nightwing tells Barbara to have her men stand down because he's saying that the hostages, their kids are also kidnapped. So they're doing this because they have their kids that they're trying to protect and make sure that they're okay. And the kidnappers are using them as leverage, and Barbara is very hesitant, but she ultimately listens and tells Nightwing that to go in, and she's having her men stand down, while Nightwing, Hawk, and Dove are inside the bank trying to talk to the people there. Connor and Gar are in a parking garage trying to track down the kids and see if they're there, and once Connor spots a van with people inside, using his supervision, they approach the van, and at the same time, inside the bank, Nightwing reaches closer to one of the victims and tries to approach them and talk to them. But someone that's obviously one of the henchmen, they throw a bomb, exploding the entrance of the bank, and after that, Barbara basically sends her men in and try to fix the situation, but they all get away. And after this problem, Barbara kind of rips Nightwing a new one, and she tells him that this is a Gotham City Police Department matter and that it's their job to protect the city, not theirs, and she calls it a police matter now. So basically telling him that they can F off the case and that it's their job, it's their business to get away. In the next scene, we get Hank and Dick having a conversation where Hank actually reveals that Barbara and Dick once had a relationship, but that's no longer the situation at all anymore. And while they're having a discussion, they get an alert and they listen to it, and it's a 911 call coming from that Hobbs building, and it's a guy claiming that he saw a man with a red hood take a girl hostage inside of that building. And due to the event that happened the night before at the bank, they are extremely hesitant to tell Barb and decide not to, since they know it is a trap. But if they go to Barb, she's not going to believe them and going to send her men anyway. So they decide to lay spikes in the road to stop the cops from coming. And once they show up instead of the cops, they take down the men one by one. Starfire, Beast Boy, Dove, and Hawk, they all get in the action and take down the henchmen, while Nightwing, he goes and confronts Red Hood, and they have an awesome fight scene where first they go basically gun versus stick and then knife versus stick. This is really one of the cooler fight scenes that we've had this season so far. And after fighting, Nightwing actually hits him across the face, cracking his mask, revealing half of his face. that it is Jason. He is still alive. And Jason replies saying that Bruce always told me you were better than me with the toys. And this shocks Dick because he thought he was convinced that Jason was dead and buried because Bruce claimed he saw the body when it arrived the night before he got back into Gotham. With Dick shocked, Jason sees an opportunity to fire his gun at him. So Nightwing takes cover, and when he peeks back over, he sees that Jason is gone. And that's where we leave off on this episode. So obviously this was a very exciting episode. I hope you guys can leave a comment letting me know what you guys thought down below. Leave a like and subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. I also wanted to add that in the beginning of the episode, when Red Hood drops down with the crime family heads all gathered, that's actually taken directly out from the comics as well when Red Hood is first introduced. And I just wanted to add that little Easter egg to end the video off because I thought that was a very cool detail. Anyway, I will be dropping a breakdown of episode 3 and 4 very shortly. Those are in the work. And on top of that, the Suicide Squad breakdown will be coming as well. And in the soon future, we will be bringing a breakdown of Batman Year One, the animated film. Matt Reeves, the director of the upcoming film The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, has said multiple times that that story is a heavy inspiration for his film because Batman will be in his Year One stage. So I will be breaking that down, and afterwards we can go ahead and compare what we've seen from Matt Reeves' Batman from the trailers to the movie and see if there's any similarities that we can find this early on. Anyway, I appreciate you guys' support. I hope you guys leave a like and comment like I said, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.